Maze Runner with a fan-made teaser trailer for a movie that might not even exist yet. That's right, we're talking about Maze Runner 4: The Kill Order. This teaser is packed with action, suspense, and a whole lot of questions. Did Thomas really escape the clutches of Wicked? Are there more secrets hidden within the Glade? And most importantly, will Dylan O'Brien ever return to the franchise? We'll break down all the clues in this trailer and discuss the possibility of a Maze Runner 4 based on the prequel book, The Kill Order. If you're a young adult book fan who loves movies based on those books, you've probably heard of the Maze Runner series. Starring Dylan O'Brien, the movies took us on a wild ride through a mysterious place called the Glade. The Glade was surrounded by giant walls and a deadly maze. Maybe you're still catching your breath after all the maze escapes and the intense journey through the ruined world in the last movie, The Death Gear. You might be wondering, is that really it? Well, don't put away your survival gear just yet. There's a chance there could be a Maze Runner 4 and the story might not be finished after all. Let's take a step back and look at why the Maze Runner movies were so successful. Unlike some other young adult book series turned movies, like the unfinished Divergent series or the Percy Jackson movies that never got sequels, Maze Runner managed to tell its whole story on screen. The three movies, The Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, and The Death Gear, did well both with critics and at the box office. Altogether, they made almost $1 billion worldwide. That's amazing, especially considering the first movie only cost $34 million to make. Of course, things weren't always smooth sailing. There was a big setback in 2016 when Dylan O'Brien, the main character, had a serious accident while filming The Death Gear. This meant that the last movie had to be delayed for 3 years while he recovered. But O'Brien got better and was determined to finish the Maze Runner story. And here's where things get interesting. Even though the movies seem to have wrapped things up, there are actually 2 more books in the Maze Runner series, The Kill Order and The Fever Code. These books tell the story of what happened before the events of the first movie. They explain the messed up world the characters live in and how they ended up trapped in the maze. So why haven't these prequel books been made into movies yet? The writer who adapted the Maze Runner movies of the screen, T.S. Nowlin, has a simple answer for that, and we'll find what that is next. The people behind the Maze Runner movies decided not to make a 4th film. The writer, T.S. Nolan, wanted to keep the story clean and complete with a clear beginning, middle, and end. This is a good idea, but it also makes you wonder if the Maze Runner world could be expanded on, like Star Wars, which went beyond its original trilogy. However, there are some challenges to consider. As the Maze Runner movies went on, they seemed to lose some fans instead of gaining more. Each sequel changed the story from the original books, and this makes you wonder if the movie strayed too far from the books to keep making sequels. Another big change happened behind the scenes. Fox, the company that made the Maze Runner movies, was bought by Disney, and this could have changed the plans for more Maze Runner movies or shows. Maybe Disney Plus will make a Maze Runner series someday, or maybe they'll even reboot the whole thing. The author of the Maze Runner books, James Dashner, really wants more movies to be made. He thinks it would be fun to see the actors come back and explore the newer books in the series. But the director, Wes Ball, doesn't seem interested in a 4th movie. He thinks 3 movies is the perfect number to tell a complete story. Maybe there are secret talks happening about a new movie, but nobody knows for sure. Even though the original series only has 3 books, there are actually 2 prequel books that could be made into movies. And those prequels tell the story before the first movie and explain how the world got messed up and how the characters ended up in the maze. The first prequel, The Kill Order, takes place 13 years before the first movie. It follows Mark and Trina in New York City after a giant solar flare destroys most of the world. They team up with other survivors to fight for their lives in the chaos. The second prequel, The Fever Code, focuses on how the maze was built and why. This story follows Thomas, Teresa, and other characters from the first movie, but it takes place underground in a secret facility. The Maze Runner story takes a surprising turn when we learn that the kids in the maze are immune to a deadly disease called the flare virus. The flare creates a double threat for them, a physical danger from the infected world outside, and a mental one as they struggle to understand their own immunity. The 2 prequel books are like missing puzzle pieces, showing us what happened before the first movie. These prequels are a must-read for any Maze Runner fan who wants to dig deeper into the story. They show how the characters develop their strength and bravery in the face of horrible situations. But here's the exciting part. How could Dylan O'Brien return as Thomas after the ending of The Death Gear? The answer lies in the kill order. Remember, this prequel takes place 13 years before Thomas even enters the maze, and it tells the story of a whole new group of characters fighting for survival after that giant solar flare destroys most of the world, and there's even a brief appearance by a young Thomas in this book. This means bringing O'Brien back wouldn't be too difficult. They could use flashbacks to show Thomas as a teenager, maybe even using some clips from the previous movies. With a little creativity, they could easily fit Thomas back into the story for a prequel movie based on the kill order. Now another question. Should there be a Maze Runner 4 that takes place after the Death Cure? Some movie franchises split the final book into 2 movies, but Maze Runner did not do that. The sequels didn't do as well at the box office as the first movie, so it's a gamble. But here's the exciting part. Imagine a whole new Maze Runner story. They could explore completely new areas of the world, introduce new characters, and create fresh challenges for the Gladers. Hollywood loves successful franchises, and they usually release new movies every few years. Maybe Maze Runner 4 could be a great way to reboot the series and keep the story going. The Maze Runner movies, filled with action, adventure, and a dash of science fiction, captured the hearts of fans since the first film hit the theaters in 2014. But with the last installment released in 2018, a big question hangs in the air. Will there ever be a Maze Runner 4? Well, right now, the release date for a potential Maze Runner 4 is a complete mystery. While some fans guess it might come out in 2024 or 2025, there's no official word from the people who make the movies. In the meantime, we can only dream about returning to the Glade and uncovering more secrets in the maze. The first 3 movies were a thrilling ride, each one a piece of the puzzle that kept us hooked and wanting more. So, will Maze Runner 4 pick up where the last movie left off, or will it be a prequel that takes us back in time? Only time will tell. The future of this dystopian story is at a crossroads. Will it remain a trilogy with a satisfying ending, or will it break the mold and explore new parts of the maze world? The possibilities are endless. So if you're just as curious as we are about Maze Runner 4, keep your eyes peeled for any updates, and we'll be sure to share any news as soon as we hear it. So that's all we have today for Maze Runner 4, The Kill Order. Remember, this is just a fan-made trailer, and there's no official confirmation about a new Maze Runner movie. But would it be awesome? Let me know in the comments below what you think about the possibility of Maze Runner 4 and what you'd like to see in the story. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that like button and share it with your fellow family and friends and fellow fans of the Maze Runner series. Do you know anyone who may not know about Maze Runner that you think would be interested in it? Share this video. It'll help them out and it'll make you feel good. If we could ask you one more favor before signing off, please subscribe to our channel for more great content like this. Pressing that bell icon will allow you to be notified every time we have a new update for you, and we always will have great material for you too. Thanks for spending time out of your busy day with us today, and we'll look forward to catching up with you next time. Have a great day, and until next time, stay curious.